I'm sad we don't have James, but hopefully he is enjoying his vacation.
Same. He seemed about as pleased with it as I expected.
He did seem a little whelmed. you know, we'll see. It'll be interesting to hear how it was next
I
week.
definitely think you need a particular form of energy and optimism to enjoy any form of Disney because there is so much waiting and being stuck in crowds, which like it just takes a special kind of patience. And I most people like I don't think I would enjoy Disney. I have no interest in going back, and I figured James would be
Well,
the same as
you
me.
can't really ride roller coasters, right?
Yeah, which is also the world's best cop out, by the way, because I am terrified of heights and hate roller coasters. I wouldn't ride them
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, that's fair. I fucking love roller coasters. Okay, so why isn't there a video game themed amusement park? Like, come on. This feels like a given. Let's get it done.
Is there? Oh, it's because of the IPs. I mean,
Yeah,
like
but like,
Xbox could do
yeah,
one,
fuck yeah, dude. Let's get
but they're
Xbox
literally
World
the only
going.
ones.
Yeah,
And like, I think
well,
doesn't Sony have one?
fucking Sony World. I don't know. It'd be cool as shit if it existed. I'd go out of my way to go see it. I don't know. I don't really see anything about it. I don't know. It'd be cool,
I
dude. Like a
see.
Nintendo, like a fucking Mario World, like a real life Mario World.
Well, that I do think exists. I'm almost certain that Nintendo has like something
I
like
don't know.
that.
It'd be fucking
Yeah,
cool.
Super Nintendo World.
What? Okay, I
Yeah,
need to go to
it's in
this.
Japan.
I mean,
That's why
that
that's
makes
why I haven't
sense.
been.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Okay.
Unsurprisingly,
So
the
more
Nintendo company.
importantly, this is actually how I thought it would be. So Super Nintendo World is part of a bigger part, right? Because it says it's at Universal Studios Japan. And so yeah, just like
Mhm.
let's get some fucking like let's get, fucking Xbox World at like Universal Studios Seattle or some shit. I don't fucking know. It'd be cool. Oh, dude, now I
To be
kind of
super cool, they just like they have to think it's going to be fiscally at least like not what is it, a money fire, right?
I
And I
know.
can't imagine any world where they implement that somewhere where it's accessible and fun and it's not a money fire. People don't go to the, especially right now, right? Like, oh, you know what people want to do? I guess post-COVID world, people are going out more, but definitely I've heard a lot of data that like people have it like immediately taken to going outside. A bunch of people are still like not going out nearly as much as they used to pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of fucking people outside. So, like, there's a lot of people.
There is a lot of
Like,
people out and about. And you
when we
also live near
had.
in Boulder and
Well,
Denver,
that's true,
where
but
it's super populous.
well, okay, but
I do
like,
too. I see a lot of people.
like, you see, I don't know. I feel like lots of people go out. I mean, like when we were doing A list, the AMC A list, the movie theaters like in like this little shopping center or whatever, and like right next to it is like a fucking Dave and Buster's, and like every single fucking time we went to go see a movie, that Dave and Buster's was just fucking bumping. Like it was
Hmm.
crazy. So like no, people are definitely still fucking going out. But so Packy, you should play Plague Tale Requiem. It is so fucking good. It is so
It's really funny.
fucking good.
We were talking about it. I just listened to the episode with where you call out how I have the fastest uninstall in the West. Like it's a stealth game. The first time and I'd play the first one first, which probably isn't as good. And the first time the stealth mechanics irritate me, I'm gonna uninstall it and never touch it
So
again.
I will say I also do not enjoy the pure stealth missions of the game. I will say I just played some before getting on. And there was like a mission that was 100% pure stealth. There was no killing involved. If you killed a guard, if you got seen, you had to restart. That being said, the save points were so good, right? Like it was literally like you distract a guard, you move from one like bunch of grass to the other. That's a checkpoint, right? Like that's an autosave, right? So then you get caught. And like you don't like you didn't lose any like the other thing we talked about in that episode I think was like games that respect your time. This motherfucker respects your
Oh
time.
yeah.
Like it does not send you back, like 10 minutes because you got caught in some stupid stealth mission. Like it is
Yeah.
so good. Like
I just think most games I think are past that. I think a lot of people have learned from that mistake. That's like even
hopefully.
people who like stealth games don't like, except for the most hardcore ones, don't do that anymore. I don't know. It's just like The pacing is just really slow.
You should play it.
Like I'm looking.
It's so good. It's so
Compare that to the
phenomenal.
game that I was looking that's going to come out tomorrow on Game Pass. Microsoft, please give us sponsor money. I'd appreciate it. We like Gunfire Reborn. I'm going to play.
I already
And like,
pre-installed it.
look at the
It's
different.
pre-installed. It's pre-installed. I got you.
Yeah, it's going to be so sick. Actually, if you're going to play it, I'm definitely going to play it on console then, because I wasn't sure if I was going to play it on console or PC.
I also installed the thingy that we were talking about off the pod that I
You
can't
playing
remember.
both of those games at the same time is insane. Like flipping between the pacing of those two games.
Plague Tale Requiem it deserves to be a Game of the Year candidate. It is so fucking good. Like it is just better than the previous one in every single way imaginable. Right? Like I feel like the voice acting is better. I feel like the story is a little better. Like, you know, graphically, obviously, it is so much better. It is that game is that is the best looking game I've ever played, without a doubt. It is hands down the best looking game I've ever played. Which I realized also, you know, it's only on the current gen of consoles, right? And I realized that means Asobo Studios has released more current gen only games than any other studio in the fucking world. Because they've done Flight Simulator and Plague Tale Requiem. And I don't think anyone else has released more than one next gen only game.
That is crazy.
Right? Like, isn't that fucking like it's I don't know. That game is so fucking good, dude. Plague Tale Requiem is I'm gonna go and play more after this. I can't stop playing it. It's so good.
I have to try it. I'm between games. I was thinking about that.
It is hella like, and I mean I've talked about this before, right? Like I love the like really well done, you know, single player first person, you know, single player narrative, right? Like, which obviously like I should get a PS5 then, right? But like this is someone you know brought this up on some forum and they were like, you know, like this is honestly like Last of Us levels, and I was like, I'm not sure I'd put it quite there, but like fuck, it's probably there, right? Like it is so good just in terms of just like I'm invested in these characters, dude. I don't get invested. I just go pew 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 pew, and like I need to know what's gonna happen to Amicia and Hugo. I need to fucking know. And like I got my theory, right? Like, you know, like as the game goes on, I'm like, okay, you know, like so I'm like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, and I'm like blah blah blah. And so I'm so invested. I really need to know what's gonna happen to them. You should play it. It's phenomenal. Absolutely.
That's a good recommendation, and I like the comparison to The Last of Us because that's a game I also really loved and enjoyed, and I really enjoyed beating
that also
it
had
and
a little
playing
bit of
all
stealth
of it.
sections. Yeah, right.
Also a game I played. I think I got to the 4-hour mark on that game, but then I got killed by, I think, are they called the clickers?
I think they're
can't remember.
called clickers. Yeah.
Yeah. They ran up and insta-killed me about 5 times in a row. I admittedly also, one of the reasons I dislike stealth games, which I will fully own, is I'm also so impatient that I play them badly.
Yeah.
And so like, not only is it a slower pacing than the type of game that I like, but I lose frequently and slow down the process more by trying to speed it up.
I totally get that, and it was really funny. So Susie's been playing Outriders with some people at work, and well, just a person at work actually, and because the other person, their computer couldn't run it on Steam, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, I guess it is. Like, it did come out in like 2021. It's a pretty yeah. It's a, which, by the way,
I remember graphics were selling.
Did you ever beat Outriders? You never did you?
No, it's funny you brought that up because it was one of the games I was like mulling around replaying.
I enjoy that game a lot. Like I'm watching her play and I'm like, God fucking damn, I want to play it. And like they're like, hey, do you want to play? We need a third, right? So
just love looter shooters.
I fucking love looter shooters. I love them so much.
Looter shooter addict. I can't believe you're such a looter shooter addict and we never played Borderlands together.
Have we not ever? I'm sure we've started.
We played an incredibly small amount with Doug.
Because I have started Borderlands games 10 times.
You started Borderlands 2. Specifically, you started 2 at least 2 different times.
I mean, I probably started
it's
1
the beginning
like 2 different
sucks
times.
Balls.
I mean, yeah, that's fucking... well, I don't know. The worst part, too, is then like every time you start it again, it's worse than the fucking last time, right? It's like, and like it just kills any motivation to like actually get further in it.
It's because they do one of the dumbest ways to make... Because all looter shooters, your early game guns are going to be unimpressive, right? That's part of why they're not. Most of them are not particularly fun at the beginning. Some of them manage to break through with like fun abilities and, you know, good story and just a good level design. But like the gun, like the gunplay, there we go, is specifically going to be worse because that is part of it. It escalates
Yeah.
throughout the course of the game until the end game. And the way that Borderlands did it in Borderlands 1 and 2 is they added sway and spray to a ridiculous degree to the point where you cannot hit people. And it's so frustrating.
The early guns in Borderlands just feel like fucking garbage. And I mean, like, I get that's what they're going for, right? But like, it's just not fun, right? Like, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying like, give me a fucking laser gun that has no recoil and shoots fucking perfectly straight, right? But like, there's a healthy in between that they did not meet. Whereas like, you go look at like Destiny, for example, right? Like the gunplay in Destiny at every point in that game is crisp as fuck. Like that game
Yeah.
plays so smoothly. Um, which the reason I think of Destiny is because, you know, they were talking about Outriders or whatever, and Susie's just playing it on my Game Pass. And I was like, oh, well, you know, people didn't want to buy things, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, well, why don't you just go play Destiny 2? It's, you know, it's first person instead of third person, right? But it's a free to play looter shooter, right? Anyways, the reason I brought it up is because, you know, going back to being impatient, Susie is obviously not very good at games, right? But she's getting better, right? Like I would love to see the 1v1 of you and Susie in
I was
Halo
about to say,
Infinite.
I
Right?
bet she
Like,
beats me in Halo.
I
I bet she cooks me in Halo, actually.
I do not think that is true. I think you'll still win. I think with a 30-minute warm up, you will win. At least that, right?
But it would definitely get closer over time, right? And that's just coming from being someone who's played a bunch of head-to-head video
Yeah.
games, right? You just kind of pick up on
Yeah,
that stuff.
for sure. But so she's also really impatient, and so, you know, Outriders is not just a looter shooter.
Just talking to her about games briefly.
Wait, what?
I feel like she's someone, if she played a game and she like saw a cutscene, she'd be like mashing the controller as quick as possible to get through it.
Actually, no. It's kind of surprising. She's like listening to all the cutscenes in Outriders and like occasionally doing like some of like the extra like story lore that they, you know, world building that they do. Which like Outriders story is like, it's not bad. I mean, it's just like very generic sci-fi stuff, right? But like, it's perfectly fine. Anyways, yeah, so she's super fucking impatient. Used to fucking Halo, which is a first person shooter, and like you just fucking, I mean, she just runs in there and dies, right? Like, that's all she fucking does.
Yeah.
And so she's playing fucking Outriders. It takes her like 30 minutes to get past like the final like wave part of the tutorial because she doesn't understand like cover at this point, right? And so like
because Outriders is a cover shooter specifically, right?
Like, well, so it's interesting. One of the things they did that I like so much is your health is really small, but like every class regens health in their own way, right? So like you either like most of them are all for getting kills, right? 3 of the 4 are for getting kills, and the 4th one is just for doing damage of any type you regen health, right? But so it's like it's a cover shooter that still encourages you to be like super aggressive. Anyways, so she just fucking keeps running in over and over headstrong on this fucking tutorial mission. It just keeps dying over and over and over again because she's so impatient that she doesn't want to like sit in the cover and like actually take these people out. And it took her so long. And so like I don't know. I feel the impatientness, particularly after like watching her do that the other day. I was just like, slow your roll there, buckaroo. Like, oh my goodness.
I'm trying to think of the most like ADD games. I mean, it's why I play roguelikes, right?
It's
like,
why you
were
play
just constantly
fighters.
playing.
Sorry, actually, it's not why you play fighters. It's the way you play fighters. We've talked about this before, right? Like with Smash and Multiverses and other things. Of like, you hate the passive gameplay, right? Like you're very much like I just run in there and hit. I just want to fucking combo them. I just want to hit them, right?
Even actually, I was thinking Multiverses like with toasts. Like I have an absurd amount of toast, which is something you give to other players at the end of each game because I'm mashing the replay button. Like instantly, the second the game is over, I'm like, all right, next game. Yeah, definitely the same way in the game where I'm just. I actually had that moment I was playing the other day where I was doing that. It's commonly referred to in all fighting games because there's a ton of people who do this. It's the people who lose. We fill out the games very, very nicely. We make the game very fun for other people because we promote a lot of interactions. But it's called holding forward because you're just holding towards the stick in the direction of the other person and hitting buttons. Whereas smart players, and I was doing this and losing in the middle of the game, and I was like, what if I just literally stop moving towards them for the rest of the game and just kind of hold ground and play it and then won? I was so annoyed. It's like because it's such a better
So did
strategy,
you
but it's
like
so fun
lose
to play.
round one? So you're saying you like lost round one and then switched to doing that, and then you won the rest?
No, lost a life,
Ah, I gotcha.
got like
So
60 to 80%, was like about, almost at death percent. And I was like, what if I just stop moving towards them for the rest of the game? And then they just started moving towards me. And, you just, because and I think that's the experienced gamer thing, right? Where you learn, hey, what if I just watch what the other person does and react and predict what they're going to do and then win the game like that?
yeah,
And
for
in
sure.
fighting games where everyone's holding forward, that strategy beats up on people who hold forward
Which
mindlessly because like it's really easy to
speaking of
tell.
fighting is, I was surprised at how much Jacob had played. Like a lot of like
I
very
know.
traditional
Listening to the
fighters
episode,
too.
I really wanted to like prod
I
at that.
yeah, no, I mean we're he's coming back. I mean like that's gonna
Hmm.
I'm gonna force him to come back because it was really great having him. Like maybe for I'll probably have my brother on for Dragonflight. But maybe we'll just have I don't know if James doesn't want to talk about WoW, which I wouldn't be surprised if James doesn't want to talk about WoW. Maybe we just have Jacob and my
Ooh,
brother on.
I wanted to bring that up today because James isn't here. It's like we could go on and on and on about Dragonflight without boring poor James. Because
I
one of the
am
things
so
on
excited.
between games, and there's so many different. We're talking about the different things that I could do. And one of the things I thought of was pre-patch, and I'll admit I did not have. I'm always such a Debbie Downer right before the freaking expansion drops, but I didn't have like that thing that grasped me to go play pre-patch the full month before because they shortened it.
Dude, so
The
so if you're gonna do that, it's November 15th because that's when the new class and the race drops, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
think the
that's not
talent
that long.
changes drop. Well, so the talent changes drop
They did on Tuesday.
oh, they dropped this Tuesday, so yesterday.
Already dropped. That's pretty much all they dropped though.
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah.
my disappointment. I was like, hey, I could play the full month leading up
Yeah, so
and
just sub on the
but the
15th,
two
right?
big
Like, which I'm glad. I'm so fucking glad because, dude, if I could play the new race in the class right now, I'd probably fucking do it. But I have to be Plague Tale Requiem.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
have
want
to
to
be
be
Plague
max
Tale Requiem.
level.
I gotta fucking play the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I gotta fucking play the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and then fucking Halo Winter Update drops on November 8th, and so I gotta go fucking make a bunch of fucking grapple swords maps, and like, fuck, dude. Can we go back to a game drought? Like, not really, but like, fuck. There's too many things at the moment.
It's
Like,
nice to build them up. I think that's the one problem with WoW and why I recommend prioritizing WoW is because WoW's so time sensitive.
oh, dude,
Like if you
when that drops, that is what I'm playing, right? Like, thankfully,
yeah.
it drops at the end of November, so I will have at least gotten probably a month of COD in, right? And
Hmm.
a large amount of Halo Infinite as well, right?
Oh, did COD is it I know drop like did it just drop or is it gonna drop very,
The
very soon?
multiplayer is Friday, which I'm taking Friday off. We were
There it
talking,
is.
we had that thing where we are talking about traditions and like taking days off, and like I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna take Friday off. Like again, because of what we're talking about, right? Like there's so much fucking shit. Like I love playing Till Requiem. Like I'm going to beat this game before I start playing COD because like it is so fucking good. But I really want to play COD. And so like I don't know if I'll beat this by whatever, but my hope is that I will have beaten Plague Tale Requiem by the time our friends are done with work on Friday, is my plan. So not necessarily beat it tomorrow, but I can beat it Friday
Hmm.
midday while I take a vacation day. That's my hope. Because I want to play COD, and I'm gonna have to twist some fucking arms because I'm actually really excited for the Halo Infinite Winter Update too. But like no one's gonna fucking play that because Modern Warfare 2 is coming out. So like I don't know.
For
I'm,
sure.
I'm gonna have to get. I don't know. I still can't believe I like fucking played that with Matt and Doug and Luke the other day. That was so crazy. Just like so randomly. Like it wasn't even me. Like I
Yeah.
didn't propose it. I just hopped on and they were
I mean,
on
the
Infinite.
trade-off is COD's coming out. Like, you're about to play COD with all those people plus more. Like, Matt and Max are going to start. You're
Oh
going to
yeah,
get
for
such a
sure.
big group for COD if you want
Well,
it.
okay. And so then in terms of
And
big
I hate
groups,
it.
are we recruiting for Dragonflight? Like, is this like we kind of did that for Shadowlands? We got Sam and Max for a day, and then
We got Sam, who wanted to play,
so we got
who,
Max
like,
for
had
a
talked about
day.
it
We got
beforehand.
Max for a single day because it came with his graphics card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember him. Oh, I do remember him playing. Oh, you could say Doug played
Did he
in
play
the most. He had the
Shadowlands?
game. he played WoW in the lead up with the intention of playing Shadowlands, but didn't play it
Oh, interesting.
because he got bugged. It was when the early
Oh, I remember this. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the bug. It was something to do with the
it
corruption cloak or some shit, right? Or the legendary
it
cloak?
was no, it was just a good old fashioned something to do with, I think it was his Heart of
Yeah,
Azeroth or
Heart of
something,
Azeroth.
like he couldn't
Sorry, yeah,
progress it.
that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. Oh shit, I forgot about that. God damn, yeah.
It was right when which is such a shame because now the new player experience is supposedly way, way better than it used to be. But when they first implemented it and forced you through BFA, it wasn't quite as good. And it had, of course, bugs to go
Well,
with it
I just
because,
remember it was. I remember the day Shadowlands launched. Me, you, Sam, and Max were all in Discord together playing Shadowlands the day it launched, right? And everyone was loving
I
it.
don't remember this.
Even Max was loving it. And then Max is like, "Oh shit, it's like our anniversary or something." I don't remember what it was, but he had to take Cassie out to
Yeah, yeah.
dinner, and so he takes Cassie out to dinner. We get like a level or two ahead of him, and then he just yeah, he loses interest for one reason or another. And I still wonder, I'm like, if he didn't have to take Cassie to dinner that night, would he have
No, he
played
was never going to
Shadowlands
play.
with us? I mean, he played with us in fucking Cataclysm, right? Like, so I don't know.
But he didn't play all. He did get max level, but he didn't even take it that much further. He never played like you, myself, and Sam
Well,
did.
I mean,
I don't
yeah.
think he really rated.
No, he did a couple, like, because he's talked about it. He rated his rep pally on.
I remember his rep
Oh
alley.
God, dude, why can't I remember the name of
I remember we
the
had the guild and
raid?
we tried to like make a whole raid group and stuff like that. He must have raided because we did try to make a raid group. So
Yeah,
clearly he
no,
had done
he
it with a real group a
totally
couple
rated.
times.
And dude, what is the name? It's Blackwing Lair, but not Blackwing Lair. I can't remember the fucking name
Blackwing
of it.
Descent.
That's the fucking
Descent.
one. Yeah. Which that was solid. That was fun. It was a fun raid. I mean, to be fair, every raid's fun. I love every raid in that game. I thoroughly look forward to getting ahead of
I
the
don't think so.
curve, and
I
then
remember raids that I hated from the beginning. Actually, it very specifically shoot. The second one, the 3 boss one in Legion, is the only one I've ever hated as we did it.
was that the one that you sucked at and you died every time?
That was all of them. But no, most of those I really liked. I was actually not one of the. It was the first time. Because that was Legion was when I actually got good at the game, right? Every expansion before then, I was not a good player and was usually one of the worst people in whatever party or raid I was in. But Legion was the rise, and also when the DPS
It
meter
was
whoring really
Death
began.
Knight, right? Like Legion is when Death Knight
It was
started for you.
Frost.
Oh yeah, Frosty.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry, not when I became a good player. When I started playing Death Knight and started getting carried incredibly hard by how good that class is.
Yeah, I mean that
Because
class
it
is
happened
so
again in the
fucking
mass
good.
expansion.
Yeah, that class is phenomenal. I mean, to be fair, like, how can DK not be good in fucking Shadowlands? The like expansion that's basically the entirety of DK's lore. Like,
Yeah. I think the funny thing is, the worst decision ever. I tried to tier whore because very, very early they thought that Kyrian was going to be the best covenant
you
for
fucking
Death Knight.
bitch.
So I went Kyrian.
You're such a bitch.
And I maxed it and stuck it out hard because of the advantages, because for a long time there wasn't a catch-up mechanic. And so I stuck it out hard. I did not enjoy being Kyrian all that much.
You know what I did?
Hated the aesthetics.
I did
What?
the one that was the worst for my spec, but I didn't give a fuck because it
Yeah.
was the coolest.
And it showed. It showed on the meters.
Yeah, fuck you.
I was looking for you.
I did
tried
perfectly
to.
okay.
I really had to expand the window to make sure I had 10th and 11th place in there to make sure I got old Wagacy.
I did perfectly okay. Thank you very much.
You did perfectly average for the percentile of your spec and covenant combo.
Actually,
you were
I think
average on that, and that was the
including
problem.
covenant combo, I was good. I think once you exclude covenant, I was very middle of the pack, like extremely, extremely middle of the pack, like probably solid 50th percentile is more than likely. Please do not go search our Warcraft logs. Please, for the love of God, do not.
Why? No, absolutely. I'm looking up. I want to find out, circling all the way back to what the Legion raid was that I hated. Trial of Valor.
I cannot remember that.
It was Odin into the three-headed doggy.
Well, I do remember that one kind of. Maybe I just remember.
It was specifically because Odin was really mechanic intensive and one that, it was a little bit overtuned when it first launched was part of the problem. And so first fight was really mechanic intensive and people would just get one shot, or you would mess up taking your sigil to the right place. And whole raid wipes instantly. And then you would get to the next boss. I can't remember his gosh darn name. And he was a really, really tough DPS check. And that's when I remember, because that's when we were at the top of the meters. It was kind of like, you'd be doing fine, and then the rest, you're looking at the rest of the raid. It was the first experience I ever had of that.
Yeah. No, I
And I
hate
was
that
like,
too,
man,
right? Because I'm like, I'm not gonna be the dick, right? Like I'm not gonna be the
yeah,
dude that's like, y'all gotta step it up, right? Like
mhm,
but at the same time, I'm like, I'm also not gonna be the guy who comes to the raid and wipes on the same boss for 4 weeks because of that, right? So
yeah.
what I'm
And
saying
that was
is
the problem. And we stopped raiding.
I'm not willing to fix the problem because fixing the problem is being mean. And quite frankly, it's a video game, and I don't think. I mean, it's a fucking video game. I don't give a shit, really, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I get bored of like wiping out the same boss for 4 weeks, I just won't fucking come for 1 week or whatever, right? Like, I mean, and so but I do feel that, right? Like, I feel that frustration of like, God damn, it's so frustrating. Like, either the numbers are low or like there's the one person who like keeps getting hit by the same mechanic over and over and over again, and you're like, well, of course it's you, Packy, but I mean, I mean, that's why you just became a
God,
Death
I
Knight,
can't
and then
remember
you
any
just popped
specifically though. At
AMS, and we're
least I
like,
can't.
yeah, I can just eat the mechanic. It's all good.
That is true. Actually, it was really, I got better at mechanics once I played a class where you have AMS to like at least mitigate your mistake to some degree, and two, you go in knowing
Sorry,
that
I
your
just thought of a funny thing.
movement abilities are so bad that it's like, all right, I have to like really be paying attention.
That's so I was gonna say you traded mobility for like basically an oh shit button. You were like, okay, I realize I'm not gonna move out of these shit anyway, so there's no
Yeah,
point in
yeah,
having mobility. So let me just play a class where I have Icebound Fortitude and Death Strike and Anti Magic Shell.
it's really just anti-magic shell. Like, they took away Icebound for it for a long time.
Oh, for it was probably only for the tank class or blood or frost would be my guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It was only for blood for a while. I think they're giving it back. The way they're
So
doing talents looks mildly interesting, but
I was going
that's
to
also
ask
part of why
you,
I'm not.
did you ever play with the original talent systems or no? Because I don't remember.
No.
I think Kato was when it changed.
Cataclysm is when they reworked it.
So this will be interesting for you. Also because it looks like a good blend. Because quite frankly, the old talent systems were cool, but they were kind of fucking annoying, right? Like, like in terms of, I don't know, they're kind of fucking annoying.
Binary choice. Like, you have to give up one thing to have another, whereas now that's not necessarily true.
Well, I don't know. So the thing I really liked about the old talent system was the hybrid classes, right? Like, if I go back
Mhm.
to mage, right? Like if I take mage as an example, a really common hybrid build for mage was you do half arcane, half fire, and you got palm pyro is what it was called. You got presence of mind pyroblast. So then you could, cast your 6-second pyroblast, and then you use presence of mind from your arcane tree to then get an instant pyroblast. So you just do two pyroblasts back to back. And Palm Pyro was excellent. And so that was like where the old talent systems really shined, was that like hybrid effect of like I'm half frost, I'm half arcane or
Mhm.
something like that, right? And like I would do that like when I was playing DK in Wrath, I think I did something similar, right? Like I think I did like half blood, half frost or something at one point. Um, well, because it used to be that Frost was the tank spec for DK when DK launched. But then people kind of were like, but wait a second, some of these blood talents are like way fucking better for this. And so then that's where that like kind of hybrid came from. And then obviously they eventually just switched it full blown to, blood as the tank spec. And so I don't know, like I haven't looked enough at how talents work in Dragonflight to know if it's gonna be give you the same level of flexibility. But from what I have seen, it seems like a very good compromise between some of the kind of excessiveness of the old talent system in terms of like, you have to put 5 things into this thing and then 5 things into the next thing. And like realistically, everyone just goes on the same path anyways, versus the like, well, you literally only had 10 choices in Shadowlands, right? Like, and everything before
Yeah.
that. And so like the new stuff seems like a very good compromise. Who knows if that'll actually be true, obviously, though, right? But I'm
I think
excited.
it'll be. where it'll show is it'll show the most in PvP because people get really creative with how to get to the bullshit as PvP is. And more interestingly,
Well,
people will
do
be
they
able to
still have
pair.
PvP talents?
I'm sure they will. They
I was gonna
must.
say like PvP talents is like a very good addition to that game. Like absolutely, like it is a very
Yeah,
good
I
addition.
also don't know enough, but like, yeah, because they just it, especially with the PvP talents they've had recently. Like, there's stuff that exists in PvP that could never exist in PvE content. Like, it just wouldn't make sense, but makes it's very very fun for PvP. Um, but in a more realistic sense, it'll let people pair more classes because you're better able to kind of
Mm.
move around. Like, am I more defensive oriented or offensively oriented or ranged, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I think questing and leveling especially will be more interesting because we'll actually get to be a little custom with it and really it'll feel like how they intend for talents to feel
Well, so
initially.
that's a
And
big
then
drawback
we'll
of
get
the
to
current
max level,
system.
and then we'll do dungeoning and raiding, and then we're going to Google what the optimized way to do it is because DPS is incredibly math oriented, and we have no idea how to actually optimize. You just kind of have to trust people who do the math on this, and then you will have the same talents for the rest of the expansion
Yeah.
because we don't do PvP. That's
Well,
unfortunately how it's going to go.
I
Leveling will be cool though.
I tried to mix it up, right? Like I mean, yes, I would go to raid bot or
You were actually good
whatever.
about that.
But
You're the 1% the
what is it?
experiment.
What was it called? It's not called. So I used to go to Mr. Robot, ask Mr. Robot or something like that. And then they started charging money, and then I started going somewhere else, and I can't remember what it was.
No idea.
But I mean, like I would go there, right? But like I would occasionally also just go sit on a fucking training dummy, right? Because like half the time it would turn out like I suck dick, so I'm not optimal. So it turns out the not optimal thing is optimal for me because I'm not optimal at the optimal thing. I said optimal a lot, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So I don't know, but you mentioned leveling, right? Like I think that was where the old talent system really fucking kind of blew dick, right? Like you would level up and like half of the levels in Shadowlands from going from like 1 to 60 or whatever, you literally got nothing. You didn't get a new ability, you didn't get a
Yeah.
new talent. Like it's just like it's fucking pointless, right? And so like hopefully the new talent system like gives you back some of that. Like of at least every level you get something to do, or I don't know.
That's definitely been their intention. Because that was the whole reason they level squished, right? From 120 down to 60. Is they're like, hey, we have so many levels where you get nothing. We want every level to feel meaningful. We'll see. We'll see if they continue that 60 to 70.
I mean it's I think it's like literally a month away and I'm super excited. So moving on from WoW.
Dude, No, I have to say, the last part, why I'm so mad they're gonna do this stupid 2 week thing instead of a month is I want a Drakthir on friggin' day one so I can make a call between Death Knight or Draknir because I kind of want
You can
healing, but I want
easily
to be
get to
OP.
max level in 2 weeks.
So much time though.
But
I mean,
also,
I
are
can
you
because I'm a
telling me you don't have a character boost? I have so many fucking character boosts. It's fucking retarded.
truth.
It's I think I have
But
three. I think I literally have three character boosts.
do they have heirloom armor though?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see
I
why
do.
not.
I'm also
Heirlooms
sitting
are
on a
account bound,
ton.
right? Like, so I'm sure you can like you can easily level in 2 fucking weeks.
The armor that you only get, the aesthetic armor that you only get.
Um. Oh, the heritage armor, not the heirloom armor. God,
Heritage.
Packy, you fucking idiot! It's like you haven't played WoW in like 6 months.
All
Well,
right.
you've played more recently than I have. Again,
Okay, then I haven't. Never
don't
mind.
you
I'm
have
totally.
all of the
Thank
allied
you.
races too? Right? Like,
No, there's one that I don't have. I mean, I have unlocked them all, but I haven't
oh,
maxed
okay,
all of
but
them.
yeah, but I haven't even unlocked them all, right? Like, so
You haven't unlocked them
no,
all?
some of them are really fucking hard. Even once they made it easy, it was still
Listeners,
like
I am so sorry for letting this noob try to give you his opinion. I really actually thought he was good at the game and had some experience, but I didn't know he hadn't even unlocked all of the allied races. Oh my god, he can't even create
no,
all the types of characters.
fuck yourself.
Oh my
That's
god.
all I have to
That is
say.
embarrassing. I can't believe you said that. Oh.
Actually, so I mean I remember
Makes
going
so much
back
sense.
and doing the Legion grind for one of them.
I remember you having to do
Yeah,
that.
right. Like, and the thing is, even after they
It
made it easier, it was
sucks.
still so fucking hard. And like, I definitely got Mechanome because I think I have a Mechanome hunter.
Yeah.
Because Mechanome hunter's
Because that
got
would
I
have made
think
sense.
a special pet. I actually might have them all. I don't think I do, but if I don't, I'm only missing like one, and so like I'm pretty close. Obviously on Alliance, I have none of them on Horde.
You definitely have Coltier.
Because for the Alliance,
Oh
yeah,
my god,
fuck
I
the
wish
Horde. The
you.
Horde suck.
Do you have the game installed?
Uh, no, I don't. I was looking at it the other
God,
day, thinking I need to install this
I'm
in preparation
so
for Dragonflight.
curious. I'm so very curious. Which are the ones you don't have installed, or which are the races you don't have unlocked? I bet you do, because the ones that are tough
I think I have.
are.
I really do think I have most. Right? Like, all right, I'm
Yeah,
clicking
I
install
think you
because
have
this
them all.
needs to happen anyways. And no, my hard drive is full.
The
I'll have to go uninstall something.
classic WoW
Yeah,
problem.
I mean, this laptop isn't particular. It's only half a terabyte, so I'll figure something out. I'll go uninstall some shit. Um, Moving on from WoW though, because goddamn, I love
But what
WoW
about
though.
more WoW?
So good. It's so fucking
Just kidding.
good. Did you see that? I think we called this in like our first or second episode. I'm pretty sure AOE is coming to Xbox. Not surprised in the slightest.
We did call it.
Yeah, 100%. It was so fucking obvious. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try it because they said I might
I
even.
can't imagine having played it a fair bit on not for a fair bit, but like having played the old ones. I can't. I've never played a console RTS. I struggle to see how using a controller would
I
be good.
that's the thing is well, so the thing about when the couple of times I played AOM or AOE, they always felt slow. I'm using slow
They
instead of
definitely
the
are.
word bad, because like you go play StarCraft or something, and like that shit is fucking responsive, right? Like StarCraft is like
Hmm.
games are one in the micro. I mean, that's not true. Games are one in the macro too, right? But like AoE and AOM feels like 95% of that game is the macro, right? Like how quickly can you do,
Oh
like the
yeah.
build your base to go through tiers or whatever. And like the units move so fucking sluggishly that like I don't know. And I feel like that is where a console RTS is going to suffer the most is in the micro, not the
Hmm.
macro. But maybe that's not
It's
true.
funny you make that comparison. I was talking to someone about StarCraft, my former roommate who plays a ton of StarCraft versus Age of Empires Combat. And the comparison he made is like Age of Empires feels like have you ever seen or played Totally Accurate Battle
I have
Simulator?
launched it once and it didn't do it for me. Uh,
Yeah, but you've seen like their dumb ragdoll
yeah,
combat.
yeah.
That's what he said like moving the units around felt like. Like you just have these stupid ragdolls moving around who like very kind
Oh,
of just
in
get
in in
battered.
AOE combat or whatever you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As
Well, it's
compared to
because yeah,
StarCraft, where yeah, it's everybody's
yeah.
super fast, like they're laser
And,
precision hitting with guns.
and that's why I don't want to say bad because I
Hmm.
respect AOE and AOM for what they are. I appreciate that they're solid games in their own right. I just think that they're worse than StarCraft, at least in terms of
They're
how
definitely
they
less
play
sweaty.
and feel. That's true. And to be fair, I hate sweaties, so maybe I would enjoy AOE and AOM more. And also, like, I'm sure, like, Max has played a lot of these, and I'm sure Max would be like, no, you guys are just idiots, right? Like, he's be like, no, no, it is sweaty,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just like, you just didn't play
Well,
enough
he
to
played a
be
lot, I think,
sweaty.
of Age of Mythology, which is the goofiest of the bunch. I
Yeah.
played Age of Mythology. It's super fun. It's not, at least I didn't play like a ton against people online, but it was not super sweaty from what I remember. It's just very goofy and
Which,
very
I mean,
fun.
I love goofy and fun. Like, goofy and fun is where I shine. Like,
Hmm.
but so I don't know. I thought that was interesting, and then also interesting, but again, fucking 0% surprising. They're making an Age of Empires mobile game.
Oh, I did see that. That's
it's
not surprising.
yeah, it's not surprising at all. It's just like, hey, look at
Can't
all
wait
this
to see what
money
they're.
that we can make. It's like, why not make it? I mean, like fucking like I mean, I still see the fucking ads. I don't understand this. I don't understand why they are advertising this so heavily. They're spending so much money advertising a game that you cannot play, Warcraft Arclight Rumble. I see ads for that shit all the fucking
But
time.
I've never heard of
It's
this.
just a Warcraft mobile game, right? That's all it is, right? But like, to be fair, okay, I think the majority of the ads I see for it are, and actually I haven't seen them super recently because I full blown uninstalled it. But like, um,
Oh, I
Facebook
do
is
remember
where I would
this.
see the most of these ads, right? Like I would see these ads all the fucking time on Facebook, and I'm like, this game doesn't have a
Hmm.
release date. Why the fuck are you pushing this so hard? Like, I don't understand.
Uh, because Clash of Clans did the same thing. It's the same game, and Clash of Clans has made bank.
I mean,
Big old bank.
for sure, but I mean, like
Massive.
Gears Pop shut down,
Massive
right?
bank.
Like Gears Pop was a more one-to-one clone of Clash of Clans than Arclight Rumble looks to be, and like I mean, Gears Pop shut down, right? Like,
And it's still worth it. It's still worth the money just to shoot your shot and see if you can also cash
sure,
in.
actually, it's so I have
I mean,
fucking
look at Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal, as much backlash as that game got, they're laughing to the bank. And so they're like, hey, if we can just
yeah,
replicate
well, because
that,
I think it launched in China finally too, so like yeah, that's just GG easy. But yeah, no, I'm looking
everyone
at
keeps like begging for Blizzard to go back to the old ways. They're like, oh, maybe like all this will change them. It's like, no. They're seeing a lot of success mobile and they are going to invest in that
well,
success.
I think they had to balance that line extremely carefully. Like I think Diablo Immortal is successful, and I don't know. I think these things have to be supporting casts to mainline entries, right? Like because the whole premise of this is let me go cash in on my IP in mobile, right? Like
Yeah.
and so like the question is like why the fuck would you play Diablo Immortal instead of like Raid Shadow Legends or some shit? I don't fucking know. That's just the mobile game that's pushed all the time. And the answer is because you play Diablo, right? Like that's the answer, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, like these games have to be supporting or like complementing other games, whether that be Diablo 4 or whatever else, right? Or World of Warcraft or Hearthstone. And well, I guess Hearthstone is mobile first, right? Like, and so I don't know. Like, I don't feel like they can just like old Blizzard's never gonna fully die, right? Like they may be a zombie on life support, but like they're never gonna go away
No.
because like
No, of course
if
not.
they stop making Diablo 4, then Diablo Immortal wouldn't be successful, right? Like you need both.
But I do think there's a world where once you've done that, like especially take Diablo Immortal, like you could spin a whole mobile series off of just Diablo Immortal
That's
because like
true.
now you have that successful IP you've established from, so they could take that could be mobile games could be the new life for all of these series if they kill off the mainline PC game
That would be
driven
interesting,
aspect of
actually.
the
Yeah.
game.
So
Horrific is another word for it, but
so you're saying StarCraft 3 is going to be mobile only, is what I'm hearing.
there is unironically a world where they could do that.
Oh
They
yeah,
wouldn't, of
for
course,
fucking
right? It'd be a
sure.
much more gradual transition, but they could do that. And I don't think people are. Everyone keeps thinking they're like going to be. They're strategizing their way back to the like way they used to do their mainline series. And I'm much more thinking they are strategizing their way to move a lot of these series off to mobile, but still do some of their big times. The ones
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
still profitable and
Well,
successful.
and also I think the way I like it when companies do it is, I was talking about like the mobile game has to support or complement the mainline game. And I like it when it's
Hmm.
super fucking direct, right? Like, and so one of the things that, like
Yeah.
we talked about Modern Warfare 2 is launching on Friday, and I'm not going to do it, right? But I'm not going to play it. But like the COD Mobile 2 or COD Mobile Warzone 2, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't care. Um, the battle pass for that is shared with the real game, right? So like it is complementing in the truest sense of the word, the mainline entry, right? So like, they get you on your console and
Hmm.
then they get you on the bus on the way to work or whatever, and like they're really just milking that tit. And honestly, that's the best way to do it, right? Like if you're playing
It does
a
work. It
mobile
does get
game of
people
a
to play.
series, it needs to legitimately 100% tie into the actual thing. Even if it's just something
Yeah.
stupid of like, oh, get a fucking cosmetic in the real game if you play the mobile game, right? Like it has to do something. Like even if it's dumb and small like that.
Give some incredibly paltry amount of
Exactly.
currency,
And ideally you do a COD
which made
streaming
me
where it's
think,
literally the same
not to
battle
bring it,
pass, but anyways, you're saying
yeah. It's just I was laughing because it made me think, what terrible iteration of the WoW companion app do you think will be coming with Dragonflight? Because that's the
okay.
one where they do it and they do it in a way that's well integrated, but it is not well received.
So this is where I do not understand why Blizzard has not done this. Pet battles. Why are pet battles not on your phone? Straight
Oh yeah.
up. Fucking take pet battles from WoW, make it a mobile game, make it so that your pets in the mobile game are the same as your pets in WoW, and then sell some stupid fucking bullshit cosmetics for your goddamn pets. So you can put well, actually, you don't even need to do that. The pets themselves are the cosmetics, right? But like, I mean, you
Mhm.
can have skins for the things, right? Like you can have a dragon worm or whatever that's like purple or green or blue or whatever, but they're the same fucking thing, right? You can just change its color. I don't fucking know, right? But like,
Have it count as a world quest as it does today.
yes, again, it's so obvious to me. I do not understand how they have not done this. Like, why are pet battles? I would fucking play that. Not like actually like. Well, okay.
Hold on, let me
Again,
check for you.
I would only play it if it did tie back
Okay.
into the game, right? Like if it didn't tie back into WoW, I wouldn't play it, right? But like again, if it tied back into WoW, I would
Mhm.
100% do it. Like,
Absolutely. Okay, I'm looking at the front page and I don't see anybody posting that suggestion today, so you can post and get the upvotes for it today.
I hate you.
I see.
I hate
It's
you.
one of the, I mean, it's in the range. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a great idea. It's something they should do. It's something the internet has widely recognized that they should do for a long time. And it's just like, I'd love to hear. It's one of the few things that people repeatedly ask for that I haven't even heard seen a bad blue post about yet as to
Yeah,
why they haven't done
I
it.
don't. That's the thing is like they haven't even addressed it in terms of like we don't think this is a good idea, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just like there's just
Or
nothing.
like it's not technically possible. I'd love to hear like, hey, there's
That's
just something in
bullshit.
the back end that makes this really difficult.
That's
But at
bullshit.
least that's something, right?
Yeah, but
At
that's not
least
true though.
acknowledge that the idea is out there.
That's
Of
not true.
course.
Like they can do fucking what did they have in the past ones? So obviously they had the auction house, right? Like and then they had the fucking ship battles
Guild
and
chat.
shit, right? Like oh and Guild Chat, like they clearly have the APIs they need to fucking do that shit,
But
right?
they took
Like
those things away.
well, I
Those
don't
no
fucking
longer
know.
exist.
Well,
Auction House definitely doesn't exist. Guild chat doesn't exist. It's just the companion app for doing the table
the
missions.
table missions, but still, like doing the table missions is the same as doing a fucking pet battle, right?
Gives you
Like
currency.
Jesus fucking Christ, give me a fucking like, because that would be so much more rewarding, right? Like instead of opening up the shitty fucking mobile app that like has fucking 4 expansions worth of content in it, and so it takes a fucking gig on my phone. Like, give me a and
Mhm.
like I
And
open it and I do
the
I
missions are
just
not that fun to do.
yeah, you just you
Like
fucking open it, you do. That's it. You're done, right? Like at least make it like semi-interactive at like the fucking pet battles where I can goddamn like actually pretend to use a brain cell for half a second. Like I don't know. It's so obvious. And it upsets me that it's not gonna be there.
it really is shocking to me that more games, one of the games, it was very similar to this implementation, but I thought was weirdly, I liked it for whatever reason, was when Andromeda did it. Nobody else liked that mechanic, and it wasn't super different,
I
but
don't remember
the
this.
strike missions.
I still don't remember this. Jesus.
Yeah, they had a mobile app for it. There's a mobile app where you could send out these strike missions, and it would just give currency and weapons and stuff like that over a
The
period of
funny thing
time.
is I
But
probably did this. I
100% did.
probably took part in that, and I don't remember it.
It's a very minor part of the game. But it was just one of the few times where it was integrated. It was integrated in a way that was smooth. You could totally ignore it and you'd be fine. But it just worked. And I don't know why more games, haven't done something like this. It seems like such an obvious
No.
pairing.
Well, and again, like the strike missions in Andromeda are very similar to the mission tables in WoW, from what I do remember.
They were.
And
They were
again,
pretty similar.
I would like a step up on interactivity, right? Like make it an actual activity, make it an actual game. Don't just make
Yeah.
it I click a fucking button, right? Like which is what pet battles
Play
are.
X
They're
number of
so
levels of
perfect.
Snake to win. Or play Pokemon.
That's fucking yes, exactly. Give me fucking WoW Pokemon. Sorry. Hey, I really am very amused. We're like, yeah, let's do a 30-minute episode without James.
You said 30 minutes. I figured this would happen.
I
Because we would
mean,
talk about, and we didn't even do what I thought we were going to do also, which was we didn't touch on the other two games that we've been playing excessively recently, which were Grounded and
well,
Multiverses.
because you've been a little bitch, and I'm like, gotta do my job, and then I'm all tired, and I want to just play
Eh,
Slay the Spire instead of play Grounded with you. I don't
I
want to
do
go
just
to
want
the
to play
Haze
Spire.
Lab. Oh, the Haze Lab. Oh, we have everything we need to get into it, but I don't want to do it because I'm Packy. That's why we
You
didn't talk
invited me
about
to a
it.
party the other day, and I'm literally, I'm playing Slay this. I see it on my phone because I'm trying to recreate. No one will be able to see. I'm playing horizontally, and my phone is on the ground, and I'm one-handed pushing the controller buttons. And it's just the saddest playing. It's the simplest game because it's a card game, so I can get away with playing incredibly slow. And I'm just like laying there staring at it. And then I was like, I am not fit in any state to be playing a regular game. It was, but Slay the Spire is perfect because you could play it with literally just the last 2 remaining brain cells
I
that you
mean
have.
those games need to exist for sure, especially if they're good. And obviously,
It's
everybody
that
raves about Slay the Spire. So, um,
Yeah, it's the biggest travesty in the world. They don't have. I was looking for DLC the other day because I was like, I realized I'd never even attempted to look to see if they had it. And I was, why? I was just like, why have you not? I want to give you money so badly. Please give me more of this. I just
well,
want more variety of
I
this.
for well, okay, I guess variety is the key there. I was gonna say like you could just buy it on your phone, like we've talked about, instead of streaming it.
Yeah, but it's the same game, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and
and
so
the
the
streaming
variety
works
is
very, very well.
that's very true. I mean, the
And of course,
streaming.
it's modded. Like on Steam, you could, a million because it's been around for a while. You can have a million different decks and enemies and paths and all this stuff. And I won't play on my phone. And it's not there. The
Why not
mods
do
aren't on
you can
my
do Steam
phone.
do Steam Link. Do Steam Link.
Oh no! I won't have the touch controls.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I legitimately do
I like
not
my little
know if
phone.
that is a thing. It feels like that should be a thing. I guess you'll just have to get a Steam Deck.
That was the other thing that you all were talking about, Jacob,
Oh,
that I really
fucking
wanted to.
gosh.
Just as a customer, not even like for an interesting podcast. I just want to be like, hey, I'm thinking about buying this. Like, could you just tell me about it? Can I ask you spec
I mean,
questions?
that's
I also didn't know it
literally
was
that is why I asked Jacob about it, is because I was like, I'm not actually gonna buy it, but like I was like,
same. It's literally, there's
like,
no way I actually buy it. I just want to fluff myself on the
yeah,
idea.
exactly right. Like, and it's a pretty cool machine. And what can I say? It's actually kind of related to that, and we've talked about in the past. The fucking Logitech has their shitty little handheld, and I was like, why the fuck would you buy that when you could pay $50 more and get a Steam Deck? So then Razer did their own thing, which is like also kind of interesting in a way. It's basically like the Logitech G Cloud thingy, but actually, realistically, all it is I don't even know what they're fucking calling it, but they're selling this thing, and it is an Android tablet, but it's actually a good Android tablet, right? Like the Logitech G Cloud one is a shitty Android tablet, right? Like the one Razer is
Mm-hmm.
including is actually a good one, and then they're just essentially just bundling it with a new version of their, wraparound clip-in controller, right? Like it's so it makes it more Switch or Steam Deck or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and that one was actually kind of interesting because the price was higher than the Logitech one, but the tablet was actually good, and so you could actually like do things directly on the tablet and the control. Oh, sorry. And more importantly, the reason I say they're essentially bundling them is because you can, yeah, legitimately take it out, right? Like you can take the tablet out and use it as a tablet if you want, whereas like the Logitech thing is actually just a complete solid unit, so you can't, you always have
Mm-hmm.
the controller pieces to it. And so that's where I was like, damn, fuck. Like if I got an Android Nokia tablet through
Yeah,
that
if you
deal,
hadn't
whatever,
just
right?
gotten a new one.
Exactly, right? Like, and if I hadn't just done that, I would definitely be looking at that and be like, ooh, fuck, that's kind of tempting. But nah. Like, man, because like I mean, something like Pokemon Unite or something on that would be so good. And again,
Hmm.
obviously, like, streaming, games or whatever the fuck it is. But
I just want to play it. The only reason I would do Steam Deck is just go get my dumb little indies and play them all on that. There's so many different ones that I've been wanting to
well, I
play.
mean, I think like
But
you touched on too, stuff that would benefit from Workshop, right? Steam Workshop and the mods, right? Like would be good.
yeah,
Um, so we're gonna go into the Haze Lab. We're gonna break into the Haze Lab.
is possible that we end up breaking into the Haze Lab in the near
Ooh,
future.
like near future, or like near future.
What in the world does that mean? I mean, I thought like we could play literally because it's 8 o'clock today,
Oh, it's your
and
bedtime.
yeah, of course. I mean, we could play for like an hour.
Yeah, that's all we need.
There's no way. There's no way we'll beat it
We
in an
already
hour.
have the bombs.
I'm really curious. We'll go do this. I'll set a hard stop at an hour, and then we'll.
No, fuck that,
I'm
dude.
really
We're gonna
curious when we get
if
through
we're
the
in the
haze lab.
middle of the lab, you're not gonna get off. Like,
I will
all
abandon
right, well,
you.
fuck you. Bye, everybody. I'm gonna get this bitch to go break into the haze lab with me.
We're
Peace.
gonna die.
We're so gonna die, but it's gonna be great. Bye. We did end up beating it in under an hour.